Welcome, Journey students. We are so glad that you have joined us today. We are talking about training the next generation, and we've got Michael Berg with us. He is the director at YWAM Orlando, Youth with a Mission, the Orlando campus. My name is Luke Milam. I am the student minister at First Baptist Church of Bremen, Georgia, and I'm also a missionary with Children's Bible Ministries. We are making these videos for you guys because we want to train, encourage, and inspire you guys to fulfill the Great Commission 7 days a week, because it's not about just on Sundays. It's not about just on Wednesdays. It's a lifelong commitment every time we wake up in the morning. So, Michael, you're with YWAM.
That's right.
And if you could just tell us a little about who Michael Berg is and what God has you doing right now.
Great, sure. I grew up pagan. I was off at Michigan State University studying pre-veterinary medicine.
Wow.
And was radically led to Christ. That's a long story. I won't go through that, but I was led to the Lord by a YWAM missionary, a French girl who was a YWAM missionary. I was hitting on her. She led me to Christ and left the country. And then I spent 2 years trying to sort out what does this being a Christian really mean? Because I didn't grow up in a Christian home.
Wow.
But in that 2 year period, I decided to come to a YWAM discipleship training school, mainly to just get my life on course with the Lord. I wasn't really coming to be a missionary, but in that school, I was just really had my heart changed and a commitment to living missionally the rest of my life. And that began a journey of following the Lord. So 25 years ago, we started the work here in Orlando, came here with vision in hand, and we've seen it grow from 5 people to over 135 staff, with among those staff over 80 kids.
Wow.
And literally hundreds and hundreds of people being trained every year. We've seen over 7,000 be trained here in that 25 years, and that have ministered to over 350,000 people. So I'm just blown away, because I'm just a kid from a small town in Michigan who God is somehow using, which just proves over and over again how this God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things, So
you helped start YWAM Orlando, is that right?
My wife and I came with a vision. We were the ones with the vision that started it all. There were others involved. There were 5 of us, but we were the co-pioneers, if you will. But we were the vision carriers. Yeah.
So I didn't know much about YWAM as of a few months ago. I knew Sarah worked with you guys. For those out there, that's my sister-in-law. She's worked with y'all for several years now.
Several years, yeah. She's a real blessing, hard worker.
I was just grabbing some books I wanted to read just on missions or prayer or something, and I grabbed some books, and I have no idea where this book came from.
Probably Sarah.
I did not buy it. I know I didn't buy it, but I didn't even know who Lauren Cunningham was.
Sure.
Finally, it just all dawned on me. This is about YWAM. And if y'all haven't read this book, this is really good. It talks a lot about prayer, and really blessed me a whole lot. In your time with YWAM, Youth with a Mission, I mean, you've seen like 7,000 people come through the school. Could you kind of explain what is a DTS? What is a discipleship training school?
Yeah, DTS is basically a 5.5 month program. 12 weeks of that are right here on our campus in Orlando. And you're having classes, you're praying together, you're in worship together, you're eating together, you're doing work duties together. We call it community responsibilities. You're involved in local ministry, but it's really exciting to see lives, people's lives just really change, really transformed. I mean, they're the same person, but they're more like Jesus at the same time. It's just amazing. Wow. And then they go on an outreach, and you go somewhere across the globe, somewhere foreign, for 8 to 10 weeks, and you actually apply what it is you've been learning. So trusting to discern God's direction. You're learning things about who God is, how to pray effectively, how to make the Bible a part of your life.
Right.
How do you deal with the enemy, that we deal with, temptation, all the things that we face? How do we overcome that successfully? How do you share your faith? How do you have good relationships? The number one reason missionaries leave the mission field is they can't get along with each other.
Right.
So, what's God saying about relationships? Of course, romantic relationships, but all the other ones too. And it's just really a life-changing experience. And, for me, just personally, I remember my third week, I struggled with some sin in my life. And my third week I was having my quiet time. I was reading the book of Proverbs, and I came to Proverbs 11:26 that says, or 26:11, a fool that returns to his folly is like a dog that returns to his vomit.
Mm.
And I saw a vivid picture in my mind of me throwing up and then lapping it back up like a dog. And I went, gross, Lord. And the thought that exploded in my brain was, it's more gross and more destructive when you go back to your old sin than if you were to lick up your own vomit. And it really brought a level of repentance in my life, a change in my life. I mean, I was saved already. I'm not talking about being saved. I'm just talking about being changed, And we see that happen over and over again in the lives of people who come. And it's just a powerful, life-changing experience. People develop friends for a lifetime. I'm still friends with people I did my school with many, many years ago. You get to do an adventure together and really accomplish something that lasts forever. So it's a great life-changing experience. It's not just a school.
It really looks a lot like the model that Jesus gave us in discipleship, where you live together, you eat together, you do ministry together. And
That's right.
it really seems like a really healthy way, because in today's world, we have a hard time sectioning off time slots for us to make disciples away from church. And through the training of all these young people, how has that affected YWAM and its ministries for training up the next generation? Because, I mean, you're training up your own missionaries.
That's right. Yeah, but we do have a lot of folks that they go through our training and then plug back in and become youth pastors in their home church or run another mission, because we have over 150 denominations in our midst. As long as we believe the Bible's really true, Jesus, is the way, is the truth, and the life towards salvation and the Trinity. The basic core tenets of Christianity, that you can be a part of us and continue to attend the church of your choice. But God is really changing a generation. And one of the beauties, YWAM at its core, we're a youth movement. And we're called Youth with a Mission. And then you got old guys like me in the thing. But it's because at the core of who we are, we're looking for those 16 to 22-year-olds that just have a passion and a zeal and a willingness to trust the Lord to do great exploits for Him. And so, we allow young people to lead, to take initiative and lead out. We try to come along and support them. We try to build a team around them, but we see God do extraordinary things through very young men and women of God that are just committed to Him. So it's exciting. It's just like, I'm glad to spend my life doing this.
It's a family atmosphere.
It is.
And I was just reading something about the Greek word oikos, which is about family.
We talk about a live-learn environment where you got to closely connect the application of what you're learning. I mean, we get so much information. We got podcasts and YouTube videos, and there's just a download of constant information, but very little of it actually changes us. And there's something about walking together, doing life together on a journey together, where that truth becomes a part of who we are. It's just life-changing. It's not just taught; it's caught. That's right, exactly.
There's a lot of students out there that when they graduate from high school, they're got their blinders on. They're just thinking four-year college. What would your opinion be on them maybe taking a gap year or being in a discipleship style program like this before they get into life?
I think it's hugely important. I think it's hugely valuable. I would highly encourage it. We encourage our kids to do it as well. Ivy League schools like Harvard, welcome it, encourage it, because they realize the students are more motivated, the GPA goes up. It's just amazing. Our daughter, we encourage her to do a gap year. She spent time getting her scholarships in place, getting accepted for university. And after all that was in place, she asked them for deferment, to defer for a year. They agreed, kept all our scholarships in place. She deferred. She went through YWAM for a year. She did that gap year. Wow. Really, it's amazing the change. You step out of being at home, you step into some more freedom with a structure of people running after God together. It was just life-changing. And then when she got back to go to university, she actually ended up getting more scholarshiping. Another scholarship came available during that year. So she didn't lose anything. She actually gained something. started school. And I just think, she went to University of Central Florida, good school, but she did have a professor that really tried to annihilate her faith. And the
Wow.
fact that she was so grounded in her faith, I mean, she grew up in a Christian home, but there's something about having our faith becoming our own. It can't be mom and dad's faith. It's got faith. It's got to be ours. And she really had owned that and really walked through that time victoriously. She's now on staff, leads our prayer and worship, in the community here, and has a degree in music, and just, it's just been good. But I was so grateful for that gap year, and I've seen it happen over and over again. How it really sets people up to really discern from God what is the career. If you just sometimes people pop out of high school into university immediately, you're not quite sure what you want. You just start taking classes. But there's something about just kind of traveling the world a bit, seeing what's out there, hearing about opportunities, being in this transformative environment. You come out of that going, I know what I want to do with my life. And then university makes real sense to you because you're being trained and equipped for what you want to do. Most people do university and they're actually working in some other field. They're not even working in their field because we also, we just jumped out of high school right there and we thought we knew, but we didn't.
Well, that's something I've been talking with our students about. They take these, I guess they call them like placement tests.
Right.
One of the things that I try to stress is those tests don't talk about what does God want.
Right.
They just say, well, you've got this skill and this passion or you're this mental mindset.
Sure.
But going to something like this allows you time to debrief all of high school, debrief what your life is about,
right,
and get you focused on what does God want.
University is great. I'm not anti-university, but it just got to happen in the order. It needs to be an equipping to do what God's called you to do, not just take it to take it and then discard the degree altogether. Some of the stats actually, pardon me for interrupting, some of the stats actually show just a phenomenal number of young people who attend church in high school leave church when they go to university. And one of the stats is as much as 80%, which is just tragic. Doesn't necessarily mean they walked away from the Lord,
right?
But it means they've walked away from the church and they're not, engaged in a community of believers, which is, going to lead to immaturity at the least.
What should a student do to get that gap year? I mean, is there a specific process? Because I don't think a lot of people realize that colleges really look well towards a gap year instead of look down on it.
Yeah, real life experience. So you could jump online, YWAM or YWAM Orlando.com, YWAM and check out the first step in our gap year is a discipleship training school. So, you get some information, just sign up, say you're interested, and we have a coach that will jump online with you and help you coach you through the process. So
awesome.
You can do our discipleship training school, going on outreach, coming back for the school ministry development, going outreach. And we have tracks there. So we have passion tracks, where, if you're interested in photography or sports and fitness or worship. So while you're doing your spiritual training and growth, these elements are also spiritual, but you're using your gifts, in ministry as well. And those are being honed. And so, but a coach will help you find all that. So if you just get on YWAMOrlando.com and sign up that you're interested in a discipleship training school, a coach will start walking with you through the process.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael. I really do appreciate this. YWAM is such a good ministry. It's based on Bible. I'll put a link to this on Amazon so that you guys can get a hold of it, but it is a fantastic book. It'll stretch your thinking. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments section. We would love to talk with you. And we'll also put a link to YWAM on the description. And make sure you like, share, comment, and let somebody know about this. And tell somebody about YWAM. And if you are a student and you are like, I don't know what God wants me to do with my life, take a gap year. There's no rush. Let God guide you. As always, it's all about Jesus.